All right, everybody, we're live with JtGT podcast. So tonight we have Josh Presley on. Josh, first of all, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. So regular podcast members, as usual, we have Ahmed Sharani.
Salam.
We have Jordan Short.
Hello.
And we have myself, Adam Cousins. So for anybody who doesn't know Josh is a black belt in Titans MMA in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. So Josh, very excited to have you on tonight. So maybe just you could bring us through a little bit in terms of how you got started in jiu-jitsu, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Josh Presley. I'm 25 years old now. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 17. I've always trained in Titans at a Halifax. And when I started, I really didn't compete for like the first year that I was into it. I was just doing basic beginner classes and all that stuff. And then I went out and competed around 12 months after I started, and I didn't win. I got a silver medal, but I really got the rush from the competition. I was like, I really want to jump back in there and do that again. So the next month I competed again. Me and a couple guys that were blue belts at the club started getting to be really good friends, and we were going in after class, before class, drilling all this stuff. And we started reading up on these IBJJF and more major competitions. So the next year, I went to the very first Abu Dhabi Pro Trials in Canada, in Montreal, which I think was 2009. And I got a bronze in the white and blue belt combined division. And then right after that, me and my friend John Gale went to the Pan Ams. And I competed in the Pan Ams as a white belt, and I won featherweight for my division. I didn't really expect it. That was the first ever IBJJF event. I didn't know if they flew all kinds of white belts in from Brazil. Like, I didn't know what the deal was, right? So I just went there and just didn't really have any expectations, and went out and I did it, and I won. And I was like, that's pretty sick. And I thought, if I can win Pan Ams, I can win Worlds. So then that was kind of my goal for the next couple of years, was to get on the podium at Worlds, and really just to win. If you can get on the podium, you can win. So I went to Worlds that year, 2009. I lost in the quarterfinals, and then was still super motivated that I got so close to getting a medal. So I went back the next year and I got a bronze in the blue belt featherweight category. And it actually worked out kind of funny because I fought the same dude. His name's Jacob Sandoval.
I know him.
Okay, I fought him in the quarterfinals of white belt, and then I fought him in the quarterfinals of blue belt. So in the quarterfinals of white belt, he beat me by like 2 points, like a takedown in like the last second. So I was like, shit. So then I end up going against him in the quarterfinals the next year in the very same round. So I was like, man, I can't lose to this guy the same round, the next belt. So I went out and just, bam, like got on his back from deep half guard, super, super quick. Like it was maybe like 2 minutes, jumped on his back and choked him. And I was pumped that I qualified for the semis and got a medal, right? So
Yeah.
I lost to, I think his name is Issa Abel. I lost to that dude that year. Went back the next year and got a silver. I lost to Liera Jr. You guys have had him on your podcast a couple times. We had a real close match. That match is still on YouTube. You can get it. And then most recently was my 2013 Worlds, where I lost to Manchur Kerr from Marcelo's in the semifinals. We had a pretty close match. I think he got me 5-2 on points. And, yeah, that's pretty much the summary of my IBJJF history. I had a couple other competitions in Miami, and I did some training in Atlanta with me and a buddy of mine, John Gale, went to Atlanta for 6 weeks when I was a blue belt, and we trained under Cabrinha and Jacare for pretty much a good chunk of the summer. And some other experience that I got you guys would probably be interested in is I trained with Ryan Hall for a couple weeks, like here and there, like from 2010, 2011, like I got to know him, like stayed at his place. He helped me out for a couple weeks. He was training for ADCC. So I went down and stayed there for 2 weeks, and I went down a couple other times for like a week at a time. So yeah, that's pretty much the recap of Josh Presley's story.
That's very impressive considering you're from Nova Scotia. I mean, like not to put Nova Scotia on blast, but like I barely know where it is, and I'm Canadian, right? So people who are wondering, guys, so anybody else, like Americans or whatnot, they're on the very east coast of the, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I kind of don't know. Yeah, no. I just don't know. I don't know where. Is it more than Labrador, or is it? I can't remember. Anyway, it's really small, right? It's really small. So
yeah, it's pretty small. Yeah.
It's mainland Canada.
Is it?
You know, there.
Oh, so
it's the Maritimes, man.
It's not an island. It's not an island.
No.
Is it an island?
It's a very small community, is what it is.
Wow. Shit, sorry guys. But yeah, no, you know what? It's funny. In an interview, you said, and I'll give him credit, breakingmuscle.com, because I read that one just last night, and you mentioned you don't need to be from a big city to be successful. So and it's funny. I think you do, and the only reason being is I look at Atos and I look at Marcelo's, and I look at who's dominating the podiums now, but I get what you're saying because you've been very successful, but do you think maybe you're just kind of the anomaly, maybe, or do you know?
No. I mean, I definitely have some natural skills like for jiu-jitsu and for grappling, I think. But I really do think that if you just work hard and put the effort into it and you really, really want it, like you can get it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm any different than anybody else that started at my age that was like, I really want to do this and like I'm just gonna go after it and just don't care what anybody says and just do it. You know what I mean? You can make the guys around you tougher. The better you get, the better other guys are gonna get, and you just have to be open to show people everything you learn and kind of catch everybody up, get them to your level, and get everybody really, really tough. Like all the guys I train with are really, really tough. Even if they're not super technical, maybe they're not going to beat Andre Galvao or Marcelo Garcia. They're a challenge for me, and that's what's really important. I'm challenged every night, like all the time, from every position. Guys just really, really want to beat me and get after me, and it's always been that way. So, and the team's kind of grown since then. Like we're not the size of Atos. Like it's maybe 20 or 30 guys at Titans that are like dedicated jiu-jitsu guys, and on a good night we have like 10 or 12 guys on the mats. But I've always had a group of like 5 to 6 guys that we've always just been good friends and always train together, going in and drilling, and just kind of come through the ranks together, and that's always been my core system.
Yeah, like when Ahmed, when you talk about being successful and coming from a small community, I do like, I see where you're coming from there. Not so much with respect to like access, because I think getting your name out there is not necessarily that hard, but it's just, I don't know, I guess it's hard because some people train at small clubs, and it sounds like you have a lot of great training partners, but what about people that are at much smaller clubs? Maybe they're one of the more experienced people there. It's like, how do you get yourself sharp enough to get to the world's level, the Pans level, without having a great stable of training partners?
Is that a question for me or for Josh? I mean,
no, I think it's for Josh. I was just kind of going off what you said. I actually am kind of agreeing with you for once on that. It's weird.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I think also for me, keeping up on watching lots of matches. I've always just been like a huge like footage junkie and watching lots of competition and instructionals, all that type of stuff. And I guess just always getting to see what's possible. You know what I mean? Getting to see like what these black belts are doing. Like ever since I was a white belt and went to the Pan Ams, I saw like the level of my weight class at black belt. You know what I mean? So It's like I always had it in my head when I was training that like I knew what I was trying to do, like the intention was there, just the skill wasn't there. Like I didn't close the gap yet, but having that in the back of my mind while I was training, like, okay, like I'm all right, but when Cobrinha does omoplatas, it looks like this. You know what I mean? I need my omoplatas to look like this. So always pushing myself that way too. So that's something I feel like you can do no matter who your training partners are.
Well, it sounds like you've also been around a little bit, and like you've got to experience the games of other people, training with like different partners from different clubs and things like that. And I think that's really important too, because I mean, you can learn a technique, you can know it inside and out, and then you see it from somebody else. You see a little technique or a little detail or something like that just clicks for you, and all of a sudden, like you're hitting a technique all the time, just over some small detail.
Definitely, I definitely agree. Like. Couple different guys. I mean, Cobrinha was definitely cool to train with. Like, he just kind of showed me that it's like, man, like, you got to work hard. Like, this guy will train for 2 hours and then does push-ups for like a half hour after class, and he just goes all out all day, every day. So it's like training with those guys kind of showed me the physical work you have to put in. But then training with Ryan Hall, kind of, he's more just like he's really good with the technical side and explaining things. So when I trained with him, he was really good at explaining how you kind of need to chain your moves together. You know what I mean? Before I trained with him, I didn't really understand that it's like basically if you had like almost like a perfect roll, it would almost look like one big long continuous movement. You know what I mean? It's like you want to be able to sweep and then go into a pass and then go into a submission and go into a back take and bam, 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 bam. Like he kind of got me to wrap my head around that, and I think that really made a big difference for my game.
It's
As
funny,
opposed to like.
no, go ahead. No, it's Canadian. Go ahead, please.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, so basically, like, you know, you're not hitting a technique and then like stopping, setting, and then setting on your next one. It's like you're already trying to get into the next move as you're going.
Yeah, and anytime I drill anything, like I think it kind of annoys people sometimes, but it's like even if we just do a sweep, I'll do a sweep and then do it like up into a pass and then pass the guy's guard and then jump onto mount and then jump onto an armbar. I never just drill a sweep and then just get up and get off. I think that builds bad habits, honestly, from what I've seen and I've experienced, like from the time I've started. I think if you just drill sweeps and if you just drill that, you don't really get used to the pressure that you need to start putting on people to pass guys' guards, like when they get to a higher level. You have to get used to sweeping and then right away attacking. You don't just want to sweep the guy and then, all right, like that's it. You practice that on me, you know what I mean? I think you want to practice sequences rather than just techniques.
I really like that, and I wish I could go on with that, but I need to go back to Cabrini really quick. It's just funny you mentioned he's a really hard worker and whatnot. So I have him on Instagram, and if you or on social media, if you guys look, you'll see he always posts these really strange videos of him doing these things where he even looks like he's thinking, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, so he's standing on like a ball and he's got like a, you know, something on his head and he's balancing and stuff like that. But it works for him, man. Like it's like he's 35 years old or something like that. And he's
didn't he put you on blast once? So didn't?
Yeah, well, he had this stupid grappling. Okay, so I probably will never have Cabrini on the podcast ever. So it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna burn that bridge long ago.
So he's doing this drill with a ball. You know that big fucking ball with the nubs and stuff on it, and he's doing this thing, and you could see. I swear to God, you could see on his face. He's like, what am I doing with my life? I swear to God, you could see. He's very uncomfortable with it, and he's doing it. And I even wrote that. I said, like, is it just, and everyone, all his Brazilian followers are all like writing shit in Portuguese, and I translate it to see what they're saying, but they really love it and all this. And then I write, I'm like, am I the only one who thinks this is like retarded? Like I said something like, well, I can't be the only one. And then Cabrini tags me and goes, yes, you are the only one.
No, he's super serious. Like, super serious. Yeah, like, it was awesome experience to get to train with him. But no, he takes his training and all that shit like he's serious as fuck.
I totally agree. In 2013, I went to Old Man Worlds and I trained there for one day only. And I went to go see him, and he didn't roll with anybody. He was preparing for the ADCC at the time. But he was really nice. So I just want to say he was really nice. He took photos with us and stuff. And that's how I know Jake Sandoval and Isaac Dordelin or whatever, because I got to train with them as well. So yeah, but no, he is a nice guy. Just I know it's all product placement, right? So and that's what we're gonna branch into is money and jiu-jitsu,
for sure.
Right? So I mean, he's on this TRTX ball or whatever it's called, and he's balancing with his son on his shoulders, and you know they're just like
on one foot, yeah.
Yeah. So but that's that. So yeah, do you want to, let's get into the submission series here. I see the poster in your background there, and you're kind of a veteran now of that promotion. Man. So you know, take us through how you got involved in it, and let's just go from there. We'll talk about it.
So how I got involved with it is Kat Clark, the guy who runs it, who I think you guys had on your show a couple weeks ago or a month or so ago. He trains at an affiliate gym of our gym, probably 45 minutes out of town in Glasgow. And he just kind of came out of nowhere with this idea that he was going to have this submission series event similar to Metamoris. And to be honest, I was pretty skeptical of this whole thing. Like something like this has come up before, like a couple times really. And it's like, yeah, they're going to have this event and you're going to compete against this guy. And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Because you know how it is, like there's just starting to be money in jiu-jitsu. So, I mean, when something like that starts out, it's not going to be very much. And the guys that put it on are sometimes going to be suspect at best, if you know what I mean. So anyways, he had this idea. So I was like, he said, you want to be on this card? We're going to do all this, have these Marcelo guys come in. I said, yeah, sure, no problem, I'll do it. And yeah, it ended up going off, and he ran it, and it was super professional. Like, they took care of all the guys. Everybody had nothing but good things to say. And in January, they had their first event in Glasgow with, I think, 250 or 300 people, something like that, with the online stream, all this stuff. And they brought in 3 or 4 Marcelo Garcia's best guys. I competed against one of them, Munch. He beat me with a choke from the back after 7 or 8 minutes. And then most recently, they just had another event in Halifax. This was this past weekend.
Right.
And I got added last minute. It was Tuesday. I got the call to be on it, and the event was Saturday. And I competed against, it was my first match at black belt. I got my black belt on June 3rd. And the main event of the one in Halifax was Michael Liera Jr. against Marcus Tinoco from Marcelo Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
And the next Submission Series event is going to be July 11th in Mississauga. And I believe that one's called The Conquest.
And on that one, who are you facing?
I'm facing Arther Chandramohan.
Okay, so I knew that. You see how that did there? It's like, I know who you're facing, but I just want you to say it. But yeah, so okay, so explain this then. You just got your black belt. He's a purple belt.
Yeah.
So he's easily a brown belt though. Like he's
honestly, I don't know anything about him. Like, I just watched 1 or 2 matches like when it got announced, just to kind of make myself familiar. But honestly, I'm not really one of those people that's just gonna study like my opponents, even though this is kind of a different format where it's like you just have just one opponent. Because I feel like if you know too much about someone or like their particular game, it can kind of freeze you at times. Like, if you have too much information, it's kind of tough to make a decision. So I think now, like, I don't really, not to say it'd be a waste of time, but I don't waste time watching people that are opponents. Like, I just spend the time that I have watching the best guys who I think are the best, like, around my weight class, and kind of the top competitors, and I work on all the things for my game, and I just go from there.
Okay, I mean, so...
So this guy being a purple belt, this match was announced when I was a brown belt, so right. I mean, it probably would seem like a little bit more realistic, but honestly, like, I don't really look at it like, this is going to be a gi match too, but I don't look at it as like, oh, I'm going against a purple belt. Like, no, this guy, even though I don't know a whole lot about him, I'm sure he's quite dedicated and pretty similar story to mine. Like, everybody that's on your guys' show has a pretty similar story. Like, they all have been training for pretty much a good chunk of their life, and they all train their ass off every day, and they all work super hard. So, I mean, I'm going to get ready for a guy that's a dangerous opponent. Like, it's not going to matter that he's a purple belt or he should be a brown belt or he should be a black belt. Like, this guy's been trained, as far as I'm concerned, this guy's been trained his whole life just like me, and I'm basically going to fight another version of myself. So I don't really worry too much about belts.
Yeah, we had him on a podcast. I forget what episode it was. Maybe you watched it. Maybe not. He's the
episode 13, Ahmed.
Oh, number 13? Okay, yeah, we had him on a long time ago, and yeah, so you can watch that. And I don't think I can't remember what we talked about. But anyway,
we talked about teeth brushing a lot. I remember we were talking about pre-tournament rituals.
Oh, pre-tournament rituals. So it's really, it's funny. Off air, Josh was talking about how he watches us in reverse order, which is good, Josh, because the beginning episodes were very dark.
No, but it's almost like he's watching and we're getting worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, like the audio was horrible. We had like really bad equipment at the time, and we had guests on like Arther Chandramohan. No, I was joking. He's a good guy. No, he's a good guy. No, but. No,
we had guests on then like Rami Chirani.
Yeah, he's barely ever on. Like, it's got to a point where he doesn't even message us to say that.
No, that's cool. I think the coolest thing about it, like I said, like, everyone has basically the same physical preparation. Like, everyone just trains a lot, all the time. And if guys don't have jobs for whatever reason, then they train 3 times a day, and some guys do that. But it just seems like everyone's mental preparation is totally different. Like, it's crazy to me how, like, some people talk about being like super, super scared before competitions, and they have like rituals they do, and other people aren't scared at all. Like, some people have one person they kind of look to for guidance and like kind of helps them be a better competitor. It's just everyone's mental game is totally different. Like, it's really cool to see how different guys think.
Do you like to watch the other guys in your divisions competing? at a tournament, or do you prefer to just not pay any attention and just go in and do what you do?
You mean throughout the day, like once my division
starts?
starts?
Yeah, like once your division starts, watching the other guys go.
Yeah, I'll watch when my division starts. Yeah, for sure. I'll watch the guys then.
Like that's one of those things that I find it's like it could be detrimental too. Like you start focusing on particular aspects of somebody's game, and you're like, oh, okay, well I got to avoid that, or I gotta do this, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Then you fall into these traps of like not doing what you're good at. You're trying not to do, or fall into what they are good at.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's the same kind of thing, like with watching videos beforehand. But I feel like once your division starts, I mean, you're going to be competing in like 5-10 minutes anyways. So like if you start out too early and you're watching all kinds of YouTube videos obsessing like, oh man, this guy's sick at spider guard, what am I going to do? But it's like if you see him do it 5 minutes before you compete, I feel like it doesn't have as much of a mental effect for me.
I'm kind of with you on that one, Jordan. Like I don't like watching the other people in my division compete either, because I don't know, I get into my own head a lot. It'll be the same thing. It'll be like, oh, I'll see somebody like sick spider guard, and then I'm like, rather than trying to like implement my game plan, I'm like, oh shit, I can't put my arm here or whatever, right? And then I just end up getting tapped in.
Ahmed does this thing where he'll be like, oh, this guy sucks, man. You can beat this guy. You're gonna crush this guy. And then it's like, now I feel like, oh, well, this should be pretty easy then, right? And then this guy will smoke me. I'm like, oh no, I totally let Ahmed down now.
You know what, Jordan? I'll be honest with you. There's a couple times you're competing, and I know the guy will beat you, but I don't tell you. Like I'm like, in my head, I'm like, Jordan's gonna get fucking destroyed, but like, I'm not gonna tell you that. So I'm making.
No, you never ever want to tell someone.
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah.
So Josh, you gave us a little glimpse into your mental prep. You said, I don't look into video, I don't want to learn their game, etc. What is your mental, So for example, let's use. Okay, we already kind of talked about, for example, 2013 Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Big fish, small pond, I guess that is, like in Halifax, and then you're throwing into the ocean, right? So there's 99 guys. I read there was 99 guys in your division, or something like that.
I don't even know, but yeah. There was a lot.
Yeah. It was a lot, right? So what did you do going into that?
I mean, going into that, like I'd already been on the podiums before. Like I think all you need to do is be on the podium once, really, to know that like, yeah, you can hang with these guys. And like that's what I think about. I think about just going there and doing my thing and just taking it one match at a time, and like knowing that everybody's tough, and like you got to pace yourself, and you got to take care of yourself in training and push yourself. But yeah, I don't like when people talk a lot about the nerves and all that stuff like that. Like I just don't really get the same feelings. Like I've never had it. Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of my nerves come before the tournament. Like just to get there, because I've had a bunch of experiences like where I've been super late for competitions and like for tests and exams and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know, that's just built into me that it's like once I get to the competition, it's fine. It's like I just do my warm up, I get ready to go, and it's just like I just do my thing. I just got to beat this guy in a jiu-jitsu match. But it's like to get to the competition, especially if it's not around here and I'm not in control of like driving myself there, that's like what gives me stress. Like one time I was late for this exam. I was actually coming back from the Pan Ams, and I had all my exams on my phone. And for some reason, when I flew back from California, it switched all my times of my exam, so it was an hour off. So I went and I was like sitting in the parking lot of this St. Mary's. I don't know if you guys know university, but anyways, everyone was writing the exam in this gymnasium. So I was out sitting in the parking lot, like just looking at my notes. And I was thinking, like, man, like, no one's going into the gym. Like, that's kind of weird. But so I was just sitting there, like, reading at my notes. It was, like, quarter after. I was like, oh, man, I'll just run up there now. Like, it's still kind of early, whatever. Like, still thought it was kind of weird that nobody showed up. I went inside. Like, they kind of gave me a weird look at the desk. I was like, whatever. Like, went upstairs where everybody was waiting. And there was these big plate glass windows where you could see the gymnasium. And they had all these desks down there where people are writing tests. So anyways, I like run up the stairs, and you expect to see like a crowd of like 200 people crammed, like all waiting to write their exam, like full of anxiety or whatever. So I like open the doors up, and there's just nobody standing there. So I was what the fuck? Like, and then I walk up to the plate glass windows and look, and everybody's already down there writing their exam. So I was like, oh shit! Like, so ran down the stairs, like ran past where the people were working the door. Ran into the room, and then ran up to like my professor at the time, and she's just like, where were you? Like, what are you doing? This exam started an hour ago. And I didn't think of an excuse or anything. I was just like, man, my car broke down. Like, sorry. Like, can I still do this? So she was just like, rolled her eyes, like, gave me an exam or whatever, and I just went and wrote it. So it's like something like that. And then I did the Miami Open one time, and we thought we had a drive, and we didn't. Like, we thought we had transportation figured out, and we stayed in the gym at Fight Sports. Like, we had a connection. We just slept on the floor out back in the gym at Cyborg's gym. And we ended up just getting a ride with the guy who was a white belt there. And he was speeding through traffic on the highway. Like, we nearly missed our division. Me and a buddy of mine competed in the same division and closed out blue belt division. But, yeah, it's just like having a couple of those experiences. I feel like, man, just to get to the tournament, once I get there, it's fine. But it's like I've had too many experiences having problems getting there that I can't be nervous when I compete because I was already nervous before.
You know, it's funny you say that. I had a similar experience, not necessarily on that level, but not that long. It was just last year. I ended up I set my alarm on my phone. I was giving a couple other people a ride to a tournament. It was in Toronto, so it was about a 2-hour drive away. And I wake up, and you know, like that feeling where you wake up and you're like, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You know, I had set my alarm for like 5 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and I grab my phone, and it was turned off. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And I turn my phone on. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning already. And I'm like, fuck. Right? So I get up. I grab my gi. I jump in the car. I drive down to the people who are waiting for me to pick them up. I grab them, drive straight to Toronto. Haven't had anything to eat. Haven't had anything to drink at all. And we're just like hauling ass to get there. The tournament started at 9. And so we ended up getting there, like walking in the door at like 9 o'clock, and as I'm walking into the door to the gym, and as we were walking into the gym, I got changed quickly. As I'm walking into the gym, they're like, last call, Adam Cousins. So I like run to the weigh scales,
I remember this. Yeah, I remember this.
Straight around and like literally running, putting my pants and jacket back on because it was weighing without the gi, running all the way around the mat, and then just step on the mat for my first match. But you know, as stressful as that was, it was like I did better that day than I often do because it was like I had no time to worry about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. See, because you already had all your nerves, like that was already gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's something to that. And even, especially like coming from Canada and coming from Halifax, to get to a tournament is just such a hassle. Like to get to Worlds, I got to take like 3 flights and fucking drive for a half hour. You know what I mean? So it's like the travel.
Well, just a correction, Josh. They don't know what you mean, but international guys like you and me, we know.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about.
You know what it's all about. These guys are they're local guys. They're God bless them, but they're. I don't know, I'm just joking. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so hey, Josh, can we talk about submission series? And I have a concern. Like so. And you tell me if you share this concern with me or not. But the stream over the last one, right? So I don't know if you knew or not, but there was 2 streams going on at the time. So there was the official stream and Keenan stream, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. So which is cool. I think that was really nice, but it took away from the views and from the presentation from the mainstream. So I was watching the mainstream myself because I'd rather just watch it, you know, with no commentary, just on my own. And you know, at its peak, you know, there was a certain number of views, right? I don't want to say. And then on Keenan's, peek over there, and I see that there's more. There's more, of course, right? Because it's Keenan advertising, right? So, but what are your thoughts on that? On essentially hijacking a live stream event in a way where it might have taken away from. I don't know what I'm trying to get at. It just wasn't as represented well as I thought it could have been if it wasn't for. It's like me streaming a UFC. Hey guys, like don't watch the official UFC stream. Yeah. Watch my free one, which is they're both free, but and I'll talk.
Ahmed's doing commentary, so
yeah, like of course I'm gonna outnumber the UFC, but I mean
of course.
So yeah, well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think where it's free, I mean, I don't see it as a big deal because, like you said, Keenan's pretty much. Probably like the biggest name that there is in jiu-jitsu now that I can think of, and just from him having his own commentary stream, there's going to be a certain amount of more people that watch it just because it's something he does. Like there's going to be people that want to know when that guy sneezes, you know what I mean? Because he's just so good at jiu-jitsu, so people just want to know everything about him. So I think where it's free, I don't see it as that big of a deal. But I'm also not running the event. I'm just a competitor, so I just see more people getting to see me, and yeah. So I know more people are watching him, and I just see it as more people getting to see me. So I see it as a good thing.
Yeah, and I think I agree. Like you said, if it's not if it's a pay-per-view stream and somebody's ripping a pay-per-view stream and putting in their own commentary and broadcasting it for free, excuse me. I think, I definitely would take issue with that if I was a promoter, but if I'm looking at it from Kat's perspective, it's a free stream anyways. If having Keenan do some commentary on it is bringing X number of more viewers, bringing more, more notoriety to his event, then it's good for him.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but the free stream has advertisement, which wasn't heard, is what I'm saying.
Okay. That's a good point. Now, the one other comment I will make is July 11th. So, first of all, if you don't know about Submission Series Pro, the website is submissionseriespro.ca. If you're in the Toronto area, July 11th, Meadowvale Theatre, check it out in Mississauga. It's going to be an awesome event. Lots of good names on the card. We'll talk about that a little later. But they do have a better commentator than Keenan Cornelius at the next event. I'm just saying.
Who is it, Adam?
It's me.
Oh, nice.
Am I allowed to commentate on that too, or no, or not?
Well, we're gonna. So we are gonna do. Just the Geek Top is gonna do. Hopefully we can all get out there, but we're gonna do a bit of a live event from the venue. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. We'll do some interviews with some of the people that are competing, and yeah, it'll be good.
So nice. So Josh will get to meet us in person.
Yes, we will sign autographs for Josh. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah. Bring your gi, and we'll do that.
I'll bring extra paper.
So Josh, I kind of know the answer to this already. But I'm just gonna ask it anyway and get your opinion on it, because I would have an opinion on this. But on this card or any other card that you've been on, have you ever looked at the card and go, you know what? Yeah, man, some big names. I'm facing so and so and whatever. But then you see other people, and you're like, oh man, this is. Like, you don't want to be associated with them on the card. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, have you ever had something like that? And maybe not this card, any other card you've done, but I'm just...
Yeah, I know what you mean, but where this is like a local type, this isn't Metamoris, right? Like, Keenan said on his stream, this is supposed to be the Canadian Metamoris. So basically what that means is just not as high level as other events. So that's basically what he's trying to say. But I just think it's cool. Like, I think that can be a strength of it rather than a weakness. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the more technical matches, the black belts super high level, they kind of just cancel each other out. But if you get two guys who aren't as experienced, and maybe they're two blue belts, say, or it's a purple belt versus a blue belt, like, there's going to be a pretty high percentage chance that there's going to be a finish, because there's potential for a lot bigger skill gap there than there was if two black belts are fighting each other for just one minor grip for the entire match. So I think I know what you mean, where it's like, oh, like, I don't think this person is of quite the level to be on the line, I guess.
Exactly.
But I just see it as, like, everybody trains hard and everyone should have some kind of opportunity with this, like, no matter how big or small it is. And I don't think, like, this is to the level yet where it's like nobody's making like enough to make a living off it, but everyone's just kind of getting a shot. You know what I mean? I think that if people don't have good and exciting matches, or they're not making the best of the opportunity, then the cream will kind of rise to the top. You know what I mean? I think everyone will get the opportunity, and the best will make the most of it, and then we'll go from there.
Well, and I think the other thing too is that you don't need, and I think oftentimes you get the super high level guys. Sometimes you get two super high level guys, and it could be a snooze fest of a match, right? Like, just because it's not the biggest names on the card doesn't mean that the matches aren't going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the matchups that make it exciting, not the names, for sure.
Honestly, if I'm watching Worlds or Pans or whatever it is, like, I'd rather watch blue and purple matches than brown and black matches, to be honest, because they're a lot more exciting to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, usually the brown belt divisions are always some of the more exciting matches. And I mean, I'm not saying I want to watch a whole entire card full of blue belts and then one black belt match. I think you should have a couple matches that are people kind of see as high level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
If they're not the top IBJJF black belts. I think you need to keep 2 or 3 matches that people kind of see as like, oh, this is a big deal. But I don't see anything wrong with having blue, purple, brown belts on the lower card matches.
Okay, yeah, no, good question. Sorry, good answer. I thought maybe you were going to be a lot more politically correct, but you actually were pretty honest. So I do appreciate that. You mentioned you mentioned Metamoris, and if I can jump in this topic really quick, and this is for everybody, but this whole thing about equal pay. Can we get into this, Adam? Is this okay? I always have to run things by Adam before I do anything. Adam?
Well, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, Ahmed. It just depends on what you want to say about those things.
It depends, right? But what I'm saying is not what I'm saying, but I want to see what all your thoughts are on this equal pay for BJJ, this movement that was started, which I do agree to an extent. I agree in equal pay in my career. Equal pay if you work at McDonald's, and of course we're all equal. Nobody should get preferential treatment, even though that's happening today. But when you talk in sports, jiu-jitsu, or just sports in general, NBA, WNBA, and WNBA, it's funny. I use that as an example. It's like you got LeBron James making $20 million a year, and you got I don't even know a name from the WNBA. Maybe making $1,000 a week. I don't know, but doesn't it just make sense that, in your opinion, that, and I'm being really careful when I word this, but most people, there's more competitors who are male. There's more people who tune into the pay-per-views because they're male as well, and they should maybe get more money as a result. Now, if there's more female competitors in black belt, there's like 50 in the black belt division, but all means I can see what they're talking about. But most people are medaling and they win one match and they're like they got silver or something, like I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, the sport's always growing, like with more competitors and more women all the time. But I don't know, man. The way I see it, go ahead, pay everybody equal amounts. Like, not everyone has the same opportunity. Like, look at me, for instance. You know what I mean? I'm in Halifax. Like, I don't have the same opportunities as these guys that train in California or train in New York or Miami or whatever. But it's like I have to make the most of my opportunities, and kind of when I get my shot, I got to take it, right? So it's like the way I see it, no, we all don't have equal opportunities anyways. So, I mean, pay everybody the same. Girls train just as hard as guys. I know lots of girls that train really hard, and they should get paid what they deserve. So pay everybody equal amount.
I don't think that you can really compare something like jiu-jitsu to something like the NBA and stuff like that. We're talking about like the WNBA, because like a lot of what these people get paid is based on the revenue that like advertising and merchandise and all that generates, right? So like, yeah. I mean, something like the NBA generates a tremendous amount of money. Like the WNBA doesn't have nearly as much viewership. Of course, they make less money.
Yeah, but even like whatever.
It's not really an apples to apples comparison. That's the problem on it.
But my point still stands.
But it doesn't, because you're not comparing similar things.
Let's just keep the money coming in. Let's just focus on that. Let's not get tied up on all these other issues. Let's just keep the money coming in and just keep making more money for everybody, and then people won't complain about everything else.
We're talking about a sport where like people pay to go and compete. So like,
that's a good point. Personally, I don't think they should get paid then. Period. Right? Is that no? I'm just joking. No. You should all get paid for sure. But okay. Well, anyway, that didn't go as deep as I wanted it to go, and by all means,
equality. We've got Dom on in a couple weeks, so that would be a very good discussion to have with her, since we pretty much started the entire movement. So.
Yeah, I don't need any women mad at me, bro.
We got enough people mad at us. We don't need any more people mad at us.
No. So, can I just reiterate? I'm not saying, like, I do agree with equal pay. I do if the circumstances present themselves. That's all I'm saying. Is that
okay.
So like like a Metamoris match, like that should be equal pay.
Equal, because that to me is a job, and that's equal, 100%.
Absolutely, yeah, equal pay.
Yeah. But I think the BJJ Pro, I think they're undercutting the women. And I don't think that's right either. But then somebody always says, oh, well, if you're going to judge it by size of the division, you'd be giving it to the blue belts. So you know what? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just make it equal.
Maybe Josh, it should be given to the blue belts.
Josh, I'm not sure if you've made it to the really like early podcasts where Ahmed would go off on a rant and then end by saying, "I have no idea what I'm talking about." This is one of those moments.
He seems to be pretty good at getting people mad at him, I guess.
No. It's been a while.
Right. But no, it's all, you need that on a show, right? You need a voice that's going to shake things up. So,
yeah, Ahmed is a natural heel. I've gone between heel and face. Ahmed himself is a natural heel.
Yeah, you need that.
No, I only said a couple things where like I don't believe a couple should ever work out together. Like I said that, and then I remember that clearly. And like even if it's two dudes, because we just had in the United States we had it all legal now. Like congratulations, right? So, but yeah, so like if you work out together, that was one of the things that got people really upset. A lot of people took offense, and I think we lost a lot of viewers that day. But I don't care. I don't care. Like if they don't like it,
it's not about the viewers. It's about Ahmed getting his opinions out there.
Hey, Josh, we're not sponsored. We're not making any money. So you know what I mean? But we want you. We want you to make money, man. So yeah. So everybody, remember, check it out. July 11th in Mississauga. I forget the venue. Sorry. Hershey's.
It's the Meadowvale Theater.
I'm way off. Yeah, so check that out. Adam will be commentating. Josh is going to be there. He's going to kick some butt. It's going to be an amazing day, for sure.
Yeah, I'm psyched. I'm going to bring it for sure. I'm trying hard.
Josh, is there any sponsors or anybody you want to thank?
The only real project that I got going right now is there's this website. It's called Oos Mentality, and it's basically like an online one-on-one training platform. I think similar to Hooksuite, like you see the patches on a lot of the guys' gi now. So it's similar to that, and it's in development, but this is supposed to be launching in July, and I'm an instructor on there, and you can check that out online. Oos Mentality.
OSS for Oos?
Yeah. There's like a bunch of S's. I don't really know.
Yeah, you should get that cleared out, man.
I didn't start. I'm not sure who chose that name. But search that in Google, you'll find it.
I hate when people spell it OSU. What the hell is that? It's like,
I don't know. People have that that's like a comment now. People post that. I see that all the time on
I hate it.
Facebook, YouTube, just Oos. Like I'm not really sure why people do that. But,
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's it, Adam.
All right, so Josh, thanks again so much for coming on. Congratulations on your win in Halifax, and we'll look forward to seeing you July 11th at the Meadowvale Theater in Mississauga for the next Submission Series Pro event. So like I said, if anybody's interested, go to submissionseriespro.ca. You can buy tickets. There's still some tickets that are available on there. Some huge names on the card. I think we may have somebody else from the card on next week. We will see. And best of luck, and we'll see you there.
Right on. Thanks a lot for having me, guys. It was fun.
Man, thank you very much, man. Take care.
Thank you.
Right on.
See you.